Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
And today we are back to recap another episode of Raising Kanan. This is season 3, episode 3, titled Open for Business. But before we jump into that, please make sure you subscribe to our channel, click that notification bell and the like button so you continue to support our channel. And I think we have a very special announcement too pertaining to our channel. We hit a big milestone.
Yes, ma'am.
Spill the beans, Ron.
Well, we've just reached 1 million views. And that is due to your efforts, our efforts, your efforts of watching us and staying and being with us the whole time. We really appreciate you. Let's make it 2.
Yeah, definitely. We appreciate, like Ron said, all the support you guys have shown. 1 million views. That's major for us. So we appreciate you all. We love you all. Thank you so much. So yeah, keep them numbers rolling in.
Yes, thank you for your support.
Yes. So now we kind of got that out the way. We can start talking about Raising Kanan. Like I said, this was titled Open for Business, and that's exactly what Kanan had in mind. He got his business up and booming. And we're starting to see like him being like very persuasive. It's like he's kind of reminding me of Tariq. Now I see why he's seen Tariq in himself so much. Because it was like they're almost like mirrors in how they try to negotiate and get people to see things their way. So he was able to convince the plug to give him some product and let him, test things out. And it seemed like business is booming.
And he was also able to convince Paul to let him use his carriers for the business. So, yeah, power persuasion.
Oh, yeah. So they're definitely doing well. But we kind of see that the police have been stepping up their presence this episode as well. They snatched Stefano up and they are tailing Rock. So it's like, Detective Howard kind of gave Rock the heads up. That's like, they watching, the feds is watching, and we really can't afford for nobody, including Kanan, to have a slip up. So with him being so active in the streets, I'm thinking, it's only a matter of time before the feds start tailing him too and seeing what he got going on. So Kanan got to watch out.
I like the fact though I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say he's trying to, make his own way and be independent of Rock. So he got to make money somehow, but I don't know. This is kind of a hot way to do it.
Well, I like the fact that he's not using corner boys. He's got that little scam going with Paul's, carrier
service. Yeah.
And you know what? I think that, well, seemingly it looks like it might work. And as you said, the streets are hot. So, as long as I think that the couriers do it right, as he said, memorize the address, or how did he put it? He didn't want folks trying to, I think he said he didn't want them coming back to the address over and over again. So they wanted to use the phone system, which is another smart thing that they're doing. So Kanan has got, he's thinking, at least I can say that.
The other thing that I saw with Kanan was the glimpses of OG Kanan, because the way he pressed Famous, Famous took the money from Rock. He was just like, if you take money from her, if he said, yeah, I'm gonna F you up. And I was like, and it reminded me of the scene. It was reminiscent of the scene between Kanan and Dre. And remember when he put hands on Dre and he was always like sunning Dre and pressing. And I was like, oh, we're seeing the beginning of that.
Yeah.
But remember I said earlier, I'm a little worried with Famous because Famous doesn't want any part of this.
Right.
And, even though Kanan told, I think his name is Simran, even though he told Simran that he's going to deal specifically with him because Simran doesn't want Famous anywhere around it. But Kanan, Famous is Kanan's boy, and so he's going to use him, but he just doesn't want any part of it. He'd rather just Rock give him money from time to time when he needs it, and he can sleep all day and read his magazine.
He want to get high, and and he want to sleep to noon and stuff.
Right.
And like he don't want any parts of the street life.
Right.
He's singing street needs body, but he don't want any part of the street life.
And that can be a problem. And that
I was about to say the only bad can come from forcing somebody into that lifestyle.
Exactly.
So I feel like it's only a matter of time before Famous slips up.
Yep.
If anything, I think Famous would be the reason why their operation goes downhill.
Yep.
But Tiff, I seen something in this episode, and I was like, you might be right. You might be right about Ronnie
I was
being Breeze.
I think Ronnie is Breeze because why he pulling up on Kanan?
Right. And so I was like, okay, you might be on something.
Well, because we can unpack that. Because first off, you heard what he said to Unique. Like he was like, we should have took Rock out back in the day. So there's a conflict. There's conflict between Unique. And you saw the look on his face. Unique got feelings for Rock. Because he looked like, oh Lord, I'm about to deal with this. Yeah, so I was like, he got feelings. And I was like, uh-oh. And so when that situation happened with him looking like Michael Myers and stalking Kanan and and Famous, because he was spooky. He was standing there like but I think the situation it reminds me of OG Power. I was like, he's gonna probably take Kanan under his wing, just like Kanan did with Tariq and stuff. And so I was like, that's
the enemies.
That's what Kanan learned. Those moves.
Exactly. The enemies love going after their enemy's kid. And so it seems like that's like their sweetest revenge in their situations.
Did they have to make Ronnie, my namesake, so whacked right now, though? I mean, I would like to see him get in, but I mean, he's so out of it. It doesn't seem like he could teach Kanan much of anything except how to kill.
I don't know. He can teach him how to move. He's ruthless.
Oh no,
he can teach him some things. And he was the CEO. He said to Unique, like, I put you in that CEO position. He probably would have still been in it if it wasn't for the fact that he went to the bank.
I know, but I was being a little facetious, but at the same token, time in the Bing and some things change. So you would think he'd want to kind of get his feet wet and feel the parameters, but he doesn't want any of that. He wants to jump right in.
It's clear that the streets have changed, though.
Yeah, the streets have changed.
Yes, but he hasn't changed, and this is why I think he's Breeze, because all the things in the OG Power that we talked about, when Ghost was able to get him up out of there, he knew his routine. He knew he was going to be watching his show at 7 p.m. or whatever time it was, and that's how he was able to make his move on him. And what do we see? He has a routine. Like he want his Cheerios.
Yeah.
That's the only time we saw him smirk when Pranessa came with it. He was like, "You got my inch," and then he smirked when he got his cereal.
Exactly.
Then he ironing his stuff. He likes routine. So I was like, that could be wrong, but I'm thinking this is Breeze.
I think you onto something, and he definitely got his payback on that bouncer too. Which
he did.
We knew that was coming.
Gracious.
We knew that was coming, and he deserved it.
Well, I mean, come on now. I mean, he got his head bashed in. For making a comment that was really true to begin with. So,
but he had to say nothing.
No, he didn't.
He already didn't. He he got out the Bing, and he was just like, "Get up to speed, convict!" Like you putting the man down. You putting the man down. He fresh out the Bing.
But
that wasn't necessary.
But that's how they roll. You know that.
Well, you get what you get.
The other crazy thing that I thought was interesting about Unique and Ronnie's conversation was Unique was kind of like, Rock is not even a problem to us. She's not in the game no more. But Ronnie still felt that like she was a threat. Like he's still telling them, watching them, scoping out whatever they got going on behind the scenes. And I'm like, that's a problem for Rock, because it seems like even though she's trying to get out and trying to clean up her life, buying the salon and having a legit business to, I'm guessing, to clean her money that she does have left, it's like, you got Ronnie over here still coming for your neck. Then she still got the feds on her tail. So it's like, you can't win.
Well, he said as long as Rock is breathing, she hustling. So it's clear that he does not believe her. Like she said, she could be lying to herself. She probably thinks she out the game, but she gonna keep being pulled back into the game. She's not gonna be able to get away from the game. And I think he knows that. And I think it's gonna be a conflict with Unique. Like, I'm like, I hope nothing don't happen to Unique behind that. But he seemed like Ronnie seemed like he just so that he would probably get Unique up out of there.
Well, let me sidebar for a second. And this may be a rhetorical question, but does Ronnie have a thing about women? Because, even in the bar scene, he shunned them away. I mean, rather angrily. And then this attack on Rock, when Rock hasn't really presented a problem for him. It isn't like he's in the street, he's doing his thing, and he and Rock are sharing territories, or he's trying to get into her territory, and she's a problem for him. He's just, like he said, Rock. He said Neek should have killed Rock a long time ago. It just seems to me that he has a very negative influence about women. It's something about women he doesn't like.
Anybody. I think it's anybody, because the description of him said he's amoral. The way they described him, that's why I call him Michael Myers. Because, if you ever see the Michael Myers movie, he don't care if it's women, men, teenagers. Like, he does not care. He's a demon. And that's
anybody can get it.
That's how I see Ronnie. So
it's like even Vanessa. I mean, he had no reason to dislike her. And he was
I just think he don't care. I don't think he cares. I just think it's just like one track mind. Like, I just want to hustle. If you ever watch the Wire, when what's it called, came out the Bing, he was like, I want my corners. That's all he said. I want my corners. I want my corners back. Avon. That's all. That's what he would say to Stringer. I want my corners, and he would not listen to reason. And Stringer, aka Idris Elba, his character was like, look, things have changed. We're trying to be diplomatic. Avon didn't want to hear it. I want my corners. And I feel like that's Ronnie right now. Like, he's saying the game has changed and we're working on it. We're trying to do this. And he's like, when are we open for business? What are you doing? Why is Rock, So it's the same thing. And I think, especially when you've been institutionalized, because things are done a certain way, certain time. And I think he has not transitioned. He would still be in there if it wasn't for the fact that dirty cow.
That's true.
Yeah.
And do you think it's a mistake though that Unique hasn't really been filling Ronnie in on the details of the moves that he's making? Because Unique went out and had this conversation about getting a new plug. The plug set him up in the Chinese food restaurant. And it's not like Unique is not out here trying to reestablish himself.
Yeah.
But in Ronnie's view, he might not see that. He just see, Unique out here rendezvousing with Rock.
Yeah.
But the sinisterness of him, and like, for instance, how did he find out about Kanan and his hustle to even be standing there watching him like Michael Myers?
That's like he was following Rock.
Yeah, but to know, it's like Michael Myers knows where you are, even though
I think he just was stalking. That's like he went to how the heck did he know what? Like, he followed. He must.
But he had to have known where Famous lives. He had to have known where Rock lives.
He must have been following.
Well, you gotta remember that Rock also went to Famous's house, so he could have been following Rock.
He probably followed Rock there. And then he stood there because if he's been gone a while, he probably ain't seen Kanan since Kanan was like a baby and stuff. So he probably looking, peeping the scene. He probably, if he anything like Breeze, he might be thinking that he could press up on Kanan. But then right now, Kanan is not feeling Rock. So that, he can use that, which is what Kanan did in OG Power. Remember, initially he was going to take out Tariq. But when he saw that Tariq hated Ghost at the time, he used that and he flipped Tariq. So I think that's what's going to happen with.
Are you guys surprised too that Unique hasn't mentioned to Rock that Ronnie's out? I don't even think Ronnie that Rock knows Ronnie is out. That's crazy to me. Yeah.
Well,
that Unique hasn't said anything.
Nick thinks he can. He thinks he can keep them right, but he thinks he can keep the two of them separate. And what he doesn't,
it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
No.
And here's the thing. So I now can see Ronnie taking out Nick because
that's what I said. I think that's probably what's going to end up happening.
It's going to have to because Unique is not going to let Ronnie do anything to Rock.
I don't think so. And he going to say, because you see how Unique came out the house after the Ronnie movie, he's putting his coat on, he was zipping his pants. I was like, it was so obvious.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Am wanted to move up in the joint, so
I mean,
he was trying to make a home of things. So
and I'm like, you ain't even. And then Ronnie was, putting pee on the game. Like he was like, maybe he got a side chick. I was like, wow, he fouled for that.
Wow. Yeah. Oh. So I just think that, Unique could probably do a little bit more communicating so that he can appease both parties, because Ronnie probably looking at him like, what you doing? You letting my organization go to hell. And then, Rock on the other end has this threat coming her way that she don't even know about. So it's like, something's got to give.
Unique has to open his eyes and take a look at his brother and see what he's really about, because he's missing the cue. And
yeah, he is. And that club scene should have cued him in that he wasn't all there. That should right. He should have known there. But I think I think you're right, T, that he should be communicating with Unique. But I think it's the little brother thing. I think it's him trying to show that he can do that. Like, I'm a since he's big brother, like, I'm going to handle this. And then once I get this straight, then I'll put him on instead of communicating.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see how it works out for him. We were talking a little bit about the police and stuff. And, Rock was telling Howard, like, just like you telling me I need to tie up my loose ends, you need to worry about your loose ends too. So we seen Howard trying to go and talk with Medina again after Captain told him that, basically she was still probing and making things hot. So, Howard, I felt like he was convincing, but I don't know how to read Medina. I can't tell if she believes him or not.
He was convincing until he said something about closing the case. When he said that, I said, see that little nugget right there? She's like, oh, it's okay. She said it, closing the case. That's gonna pique her interest, because
why you so
he was breaking through at first and stuff, and but then he was like, well, that's why we need to let it die. I was like, I said, she gonna be on the case.
It'll really be interesting how she picks this case up, though, because she has to walk on eggshells, because nobody wants to be bothered with the case. She definitely has to stay clear of Detective Howard, because
she's gonna keep that on the low. She can't do it. She's gonna turn up there too.
Yeah,
quick with a quickness. So, and in fact, she should have been a little worried that Detective Howard, met her at the door, basically. I mean,
well, she probably was, and then she had her hand in her pocket and stuff too. Well, I mean, she's internal affairs. She's still a cop. She probably was strapped.
I'm sure she was, but she has to really use some kid gloves on this, because Howard is definitely going to suspect her looking into it.
Oh, absolutely, because he's pacing and stuff. Like you can tell that he is on edge. He's real nervous.
Yes.
You can tell, and I think he still has a little bit of remorse, because I think last episode and this one too, you can see him looking over at Shannon's desk, at Bert's desk. So he probably like, man. Like,
he even attempted to go to the mosque.
He tried to go to the mosque. He was like, I can't go in there. Like, I think his conscience is bothering him.
Yeah.
But she left him no choice.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying he right. He was wrong. And he got, we talked about this Rob last week. He got some juju coming his way.
No, he doesn't.
He definitely got, juju coming his way behind it. But I think it's going to catch up to him. I do. Even if, old girl ends up getting killed, I think she's,
Well, if she does, I think that'll open up the chief because now you got two detectives that are, mysteriously.
That would definitely.
And you don't know what trap she may be laying, because I mean, just to talk about Ghost a little bit, PowerBook 2 Ghost. We saw Sax got killed, but before he had an insurance policy, he sent letters to everybody and stuff. So you don't know, like she might say, okay, Shannon told me that if something happened to me, it wouldn't be what it looked like. So let me,
put some stuff in place.
Insurance. Yeah, put some stuff in place. So if something happens to me,
Yeah. I don't know. He better play it cool, because I don't know. I think she's on to him a little bit, but
I think so too. I think so too. The way she was looking at him, because the way he was looking at her at the funeral, like the way he was staring at her, and she looked like unnerved. Like
sometimes the best defense is actually no defense at all. If I were Detective Howard, I would stay away from her, because you pinpointed a couple things. First of all, he's nervous. He has some remorse. So the more he talks, you know what they say about loose lips.
Yeah.
And see, and that could be the catalyst that takes her to that level of a new investigation, because he can say something that might trigger her, and she goes with that. And then, as I said earlier, right now we don't have any evidence to support any claims she may have. But if he keeps talking to her in his state, you never know what he might give up.
I think she's gonna pursue it. She may not even have to go back to him at this point, because once he started talking about shutting it down, and the captain told him that they needed it shut down. So he's coming like on the captain's behalf, but of course we know it's his own self-preservation.
Right. But he's the one that needs to stay away from her. He
absolutely.
He needs to chill, because he looks guilty every time. The more you do that, because I'm sure Medina's saying, why does he keep trying to convince me?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Started talking about shutting the thing down to her. I was like, that you didn't open the door now. And, you didn't pique her interest, and she's gonna follow up on what Shannon told her. I mean, Shannon was pillow talking and stuff. So what's her name probably knows a lot more than we, the audience, have even heard. Like, we saw Burke telling her some stuff, but she probably know a whole lot more than we even know.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. Yes, it is, because Detective Howard, he's been doing a good job kind of covering his tracks for the most part. He hasn't gotten found out, but that can only last for so long.
But Rock know what time it is, though, because she
do.
She was like,
that's why I was like, the people that are street smart always know from beforehand. They can always pick up on that. So Howard better play it cool. But I want to talk a little bit about Jukebox and her situation this week. I was so happy to see Jukebox and Marvin and Lou all together, like collaborating and being supportive. It was like always like one happy family again. And it was cool, because we talked last week about Marvin's transformation and how supportive he was being, and we see that even more this week with him escorting her to the audition and being cheering her on, even though the judge, I'm giving her the hands for cutting Juke like that.
Yeah. That
I was fine. Like, how dare you just be so rude like that and abruptly like tell her to stop? She sounded amazing.
I'm saying she could sing, so obviously she's not what they're looking for visually. And so, because other than that, why would you shut that down? I mean, girl was.
No, I think they heard enough. I think this is what I think will happen. And I have not seen any, future episodes, nothing like that. But online, there have been some pictures circulating of Jukebox, and it looked like she's in the group. Like, and I don't know if that's false pictures or whatever and stuff, but I think that she's going to make the group. But what I think is going to happen is, like, you saw the little situation in the bathroom, with the young lady.
Yeah.
I think that the sexuality is going to become an issue, and that might end the dream, because they, that's back then,
Yeah.
Right.
And the look they want the look, they want you to be, the
Yeah,
image, cookie
that could
cutter.
be
They
true.
want you. So I think that she's probably gonna get a taste of the business.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I guess my first impression was she gave him 30 seconds. You didn't need any more than that. And I just didn't like how abrupt she was.
Exactly.
It was rude.
It was quite rude. I mean, she could have said, thank you very much. Your voice is lovely. And, shut it down. But just to holler out,
Yeah, that was rude. That was rude.
It was.
And Juke can blow. Like, she has a
beautiful
voice.
And
I love when they let her showcase her talents.
And and we gotta give accolades to dear old dad, because when she went to the back, I really love the way Marvin kind of lifted her up,
Yeah.
And it was just a little, that was a heartwarming situation that we haven't seen from Marvin.
Yeah, well,
I mean, he began to see it, but I mean, that was so apropos. I mean,
it was timely because she needed it.
Exactly.
She needed it because Lou was in the bing.
I was like,
Lou.
I told you.
Lou. They just made up. They just made up.
Mm-hmm.
They just made up.
He always does this where he builds her up just to let her down.
Yeah. He up there.
But it's this drinking thing that he's got going on that, this is going to be his demise.
Yeah.
And then you get, now look, I was all for that fight. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Okay?
No, I wasn't mad at him.
Oh boy, deserved it.
I wasn't mad at him about the fight. And so that situation, yeah, I wasn't mad about that. I think that Lou, he's dealing with the demons because his conscience is still bothering him about D-Wiz and Scrap. And you can see that from when he was in a bing, he was hallucinating that Scrap and D-Wiz were in the bing with him, but it was actually two other cellmates.
I mean, you're right. Okay, first of all, let me say that so that there's no conflict here. You're right.
There's no conflict.
Agree with you. No, I'm saying you're right. My concern or my question with it all is, I mean, obviously this isn't your first, those weren't your first bodies. You've done it enough, I'm sure.
But he wants out.
I got it. But
and maybe those were the two people that he felt really didn't deserve it.
But he said it. He said last week, he said Scrap didn't deserve to die. But D-Wiz was his nephew's friend. He was a kid.
So that's why I think it weighs heavily.
But just as some of our fans said, he didn't have to do it. If he felt that strongly about it, he didn't have to do it. But he did it anyways. And so
Rock got a very persuasive hand.
Okay? And his little brother.
But there's always been some knocking heads between the two of them, even from day one. I mean,
not really. It was Marvin and Rock. And in the beginning, Lou was the one that always did what.
But Lou would say, Lou would speak up. I mean, if Lou saw something or thought something, or Rock said something, and Lou had to think about it, he would speak up. He would say something.
Do you not remember how bad she signed him last season?
Yeah, I know.
He didn't speak up.
Okay, I got that.
She undressed him. She basically told him you wouldn't be nothing without me. Like she was like, no,
right there.
She said I own you.
Park it right there. If somebody told me that.
But that's why he said he done.
But that's the big sister, little brother complex. It's clear that this family has a lot of internal issues, even as you hear Lou talking about his father at the bar and whatnot, and how his father couldn't complete anything and follow through and stuff. So it's like all of these familial issues that keep manifesting themselves, and I think he has a lot to cope with.
And he's following in his father's footsteps too, because he's doing the same thing his father did. He can't finish anything.
But guess what? This is where when we had interviewed with Sasha, where I was saying we getting ready to lean into the Ghost and Tommy era, because Ghost dad owned a bar. And remember, like in season 6 with Uncle Gabe, Ghost dad got killed because I called the cops on the drug dealers that were around the bar and stuff like that. So I think, with Lou getting involved with this bar and stuff like that, we're going to see where this story takes us, because I really think, and it may not be this season, but I think that it's going to lead to the introduction of Ghost dad, Ghost and Tommy, young Ghost and Tommy stuff.
Yeah,
If we get Breeze and stuff now with Kanan and everything, we're gonna lead into the introduction of the Ghost and Tommy, young
I
Ghost and Tommy.
agree.
So that's when I saw that bar scene and stuff. I was like, oh, we headed in that direction.
What they say, there's a reason for everything.
There's a reason for everything. I was like, this storyline is coming together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was thinking maybe the fact that Lou has made this relationship with the bar owner, maybe he can make it up to Jukebox by getting her some time on the stage, and letting her develop her chops or whatever in front of the audience.
Well, he's got to make maybe it up to Marvin a way he can make it up.
Because Marvin was like,
he was hot.
I don't blame him. That's how I would have been. You hurt my baby.
Exactly.
Making false promises and don't deliver. Yeah, I would have been beefing too.
Yeah. And speaking of Marvin, we seen him come to the rescue for this older gentleman, Gerald Moore, who I'm like, now what's the deal there?
No, that's the dude from anger management. That's Joe.
Right. That's
okay.
His,
that was the dude that he was beefing with at first. He was getting ready. He was ready to knock Joe out when Joe was talking trash. So, but they remember by the time. Yeah, that was him.
I was like, he did not look good.
No, he was in bad shape. But I have to say, Marvin, you've come a long way. I mean,
yes. Look, we've seen the growth. Please don't kill Marvin off, because I'm like, man, he getting a redemption arc. Please don't kill Marvin off.
Yeah,
because I'm like, he's
that's your motive operandi. You say when things like that happen.
Oh, I get scared sometimes when I see that redemption arc, because I'm like, but I like it though. I like the moves he's making with Juke and stuff, and then how he's being there for Joe, because they were beefing at first in the anger, but by the end of it, they have become friends. So I think that
I was
cool.
like, damn, Gerald looks so bad, I don't even recognize.
Joe. Yeah, he fell off because I know they were in the anger management class, but I'm like, clearly he had other issues in the anger management then.
Yeah. So, it was cool of Marvin to come through and not only pay the, offer to pay the $3,000. He actually got swindled out of an extra $2,000.
I was like, because they like junkies too. They look sketchy.
Yeah, so Marvin is making it, like you said, a huge redemption arc.
Yes,
I'm hoping he sticks around, because I do really love Marvin's character, and I feel like he's kind of the glue that's keeping everybody together right now, because otherwise everybody's beefing.
Everybody's beefing,
and now he is with Lou. So I'd really like to see how this meshes. This will mesh together, he and Lou and Jukebox, because I think the three of them together are very powerful. And so and definitely very positive for Jukebox, with all the things that has happened to her in recent past. So she needs them both, actually.
She does. She needs all, like, even the fact that Rock came to see her, even though I think it was twofold, that Rock was trying to get information about who Kanan was hanging in. So she wasn't slick. But at the same time, she does love Jukebox and stuff. And so the way she came with the necklace and was supporting her and everything, she needs that. She needs that, because you can tell, like, she had a boost of confidence. She was looking at her little necklace and stuff and singing in the mirror. So I was like, we're rooting for Jukebox.
Yeah, but she's putting Jukebox and Famous in this position because, she's telling them both, whatever you know about Kanan, you got to let me know. And she gave that wad of money to Famous, and Famous, hey, and I don't blame him for taking it. I mean, heck, you can sleep all day.
Right. I was about to say, they on their way to being evicted.
But I also saw something with that scene with Kanan, when Kanan just jacked him up. And, okay, so first, Famous doesn't want to be in the game. And then Kanan smacks him and jacks him up like that. This can go south real quick.
Yeah. That's what I said. Well, I when I saw that, I told you what I said. I thought about, OG Power and how he did Dre. But I also thought about what he said to Tariq when he said, "You're not a killer until you kill someone you love." So
Yeah.
I was just like, who is that going to be for Kanan? Would he be the one to kill Famous? Would he,
It may be.
Because clearly killing Sean, his son, wasn't the first time.
No, it wasn't the first time, clearly.
Yeah, so I mean, this is the beginning of ruthless Kanan as we knew him later on. So it's cool to get to see how he started off being so green and soft and gullible, but Rock is slowly turning him into a little monster, whether she knows it or not.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I wanted to say too. I wanted to ask the question, should she back off of it? Because the more she plunges at Kanan, trying to get in his business, the farther away he's going to drift. So and I understand she's a mother.
Well, she can't because what Howard said too. He was like, if Kanan, he said he's hanging with cats that I don't recognize. He said, and now the cops and the feds are involved. And if he slip up, we all going down. So it's twofold. So yes, she's still trying to rebuild her relationship with him, but at the same time, she's trying to stay close and see what he's up to, so he don't get them caught up. Because he already got them caught up with killing Buck 20.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he he green.
Yeah, he's still a newbie in the game, and as much as he think he knows, he don't know it all.
He doesn't know
it all. He's still learning.
Yeah, he really doesn't know much of anything. But
exactly, but he think he know everything. So that's why she's trying to stay close.
But I think she better get that message out real quick that the streets are hot and you need to curtail whatever it is you're doing. You need to slow it down, slow your roll, because he's not thinking that way. So. So it'll be.
The thing is, somebody else probably gonna have to deliver that message because he ain't hearing nothing she has to say.
Right.
Because as far as he's concerned, he might be like, "You might be lying about this."
Yeah, that's the thing. Her credibility is shot with him right now. So somebody else will have to deliver that message. I don't know if it be Uncle Marv.
It gotta be
Uncle Marv, Juke, because they're tight.
I mean.
It has to be somebody that he can trust because he's not going to receive it from her right now.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. This was a pretty good episode. I think it's setting us up for a lot that's coming our way and a lot that's going to get very dangerous pretty soon. We're only in the third episode, and we always wait for that mid-season one because we know after that, it's gear.
Through stratosphere.
So I like where we're headed so far, though.
I do too. I know. I think he's Breeze. Yeah, I think he's Breeze. My son think he's Breeze too, and he thinks that he's gonna reveal himself as Breeze in episode 4. And I was like, no, maybe episode 5 or whatever. I said I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see.
Well, I was wondering about the name Breeze, if that is him, if he is Breeze, and everybody knows him as Ronnie, seemingly on the streets. Like even the drug dealers and all the people involved in that lifestyle seem to know him as Ronnie. So does he reinvent himself as Breeze? Now that he's released from prison. So that's why I was thinking. I don't think Breeze was a name that existed prior to going to the Bing.
In fact,
or what if he tells Kanan that? Because when Kanan met Tariq, he said his name was Slim.
Right.
So what if he tells Kanan that his name is Breeze? Like Kanan knows that he's Unique's brother, but did he ever know Unique's brother's name or whatever?
Right.
So I mean, yeah. So we'll see.
It would be interesting to see how he came up with that name. You took the words out of my mouth. I was thinking exactly the same thing. How did because you were saying so much about Breeze, but where does it come from? Because it certainly doesn't fit him. There's nothing breezy about him. I mean,
so I said, if he really is Breeze, I think he is, but we'll see. And what's interesting?
It makes sense. It makes very good sense that he would be. And if he isn't, my gracious, who would it be?
But I've been seeing some conspiracy theories online, and people think it's Famous, and I was like, no, it ain't Famous.
Famous don't even want to be in the game.
Exactly.
Like it's not Famous. It's not Famous. So I do think it's him, and if it's not Ronnie, we're gonna see Breeze soon. But I think it's Ronnie. And what's interesting? Ronnie's character is like Michael Myers, as I said. But the actor Grantham Coleman is really cool.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, he was really warm and personable and stuff. So I'm like, so that's a testament to his acting skills.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Juilliard graduate, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I kind of touched on who can get the hands list. So y'all have anybody that you guys want to add? I think I said Uncle Luke can go on there, and old girl from the audition can go on there.
Oh yeah, the one
box off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot, the girl that came in there talking about everybody can go home. You're gonna be my backup and stuff.
She can get the hands
she
too.
can get the hands too. Because I'm like, you so too full of yourself. It's hard to be confident, but you tripping.
Girl, bye. So
yeah.
Kanan can get the hands for jacking up
Famous. Okay. Yeah. He was out of pocket.
Way out of pocket there.
Yeah, he was. You don't do your friends like that.
No.
You know. So yeah, he could get the hands.
Yeah. All right. So the game ball.
Marvin.
I think we might agree. Marvin. Yes.
Yeah.
Marvin has been showing up and showing out for everybody.
Yes.
So Marvin can get the game ball.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any other predictions you wanted to throw out there? No, I was thinking about what happens with Sal. I'm sorry, not Sal, with Stefano. Because like they don't really have anything on him right now, but it seems like they're digging and probing and pressing him out. And I'm like, I still think what he did with getting Rock and them to kill Sal might have been somewhat of a setup. I'm like, could he give them up?
Yeah, you can't trust him.
I was just wondering if he would rat them out that, you know, they killed Sal for, or he wouldn't say it was for him, but he might rat them out and say like,
who knows?
Did it?
That would,
but I don't know. Do we see him snitching though? I don't know.
I don't see him being a snitch.
If they turn up the pressure enough, maybe.
But Sal has a pretty decent lawyer, so and they really
Stefano.
I'm sorry, Stefano. Stefano's a decent lawyer. I don't see them meddling with him much more because they really didn't have anything on him in the first place. I think
they busted him over the fish.
Yeah, over fish. They just wanted to bring him in and see if they could get anything from him, and it turns out they didn't. So I don't see stuff.
I still got my eye on Stefano.
No, we can't trust Stefano. He used Rock to take out Sal, so we know we can't trust Stefano.
But at some point that snake's gonna come back to bite.
Yeah. So Unique better watch out too. But I like Unique though, because Unique is like, he ain't scared. He's savvy and stuff too. Like he had me dying when he went to the Chinese and when they were talking, like, what y'all talking about back there? I was dying. Like, you know, he has no cut cards, and I love that about him.
Yeah. It's given very much like New York authenticity.
Yes. You better hope he don't find out what's going on.
Right. Right. Oh yeah, all hell gonna break loose as soon as she finds out about Rock. Rock might.
He be tripping though. He because when she's asked him one time, you know, not this episode, but in the last episode when he was leaving, she was like, where you going, Unique? He just rolled out. He didn't even answer her anything. He just rolled. I'm like, you might need to get the hands for that.
Yeah.
You might need to.
I'm like,
wait a minute.
Hey.
Yeah, well, this was a great episode. I'm glad we got to get together and talk about this one because I'm enjoying the season so far. To all the viewers out there, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for getting us to 1 million views. Please keep it up. Continue to spread the word. Tell your friends and family to come and check out the Spot Real Talk. Drop down in the comment section and give us your thoughts on this episode as well as your predictions for future episodes. We can't wait to read what you guys have to say. Also, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. We are at the Spot Real Talk on pretty much every major platform. Also, subscribe to the channel, click that like button, and the notification bell continues to alert you every time we post something new. We've also have this interviews tab where you can go and check out our whole playlist of past interviews. There's a ton of goodies in there. So if you are new to the channel, that's a great place to start. Ron, Tiffany, you got anything you want to add?
And check out our shorts list too. So you'll find some interesting things in here as well.
Yeah, the shorts been moving.
They've been moving.
So yeah, I know we talk and do long form for these recaps, but the shorts are a good way to kind of get a feel for what we bring in here at the Spot Real Talk.
Definitely.
So tons of good stuff. I guess on that note, we will call it a night, and we will return next week for a recap of Raising Kanan episode 4. So make sure you, like I said, click that notification bell, and we'll be back with you next week. Good night.
All right.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.
Say what it be, I know the king, follow his lead, repeat after me. I know they lurking, this serpent is circling, but I never worry, cause he got the keys, he let it bleed. Never put me on the freeze, just look how he spit it to me. It'll be out of right after I seek. You can't make the promise unless you the king. Jay with a baby, I am what he made me know you.